Alrighty, so good afternoon, good evening, good morning, you two preppers. It's Prepping Outside the Box, and I'm Josh, of course. And right now, just take a moment and check out all this stuff I've got laying on the table. You can count how many there are, but really look into it. Really look at the details, right? Some of this actually is part of my everyday carry. I mean, not that little guy, but still, some of it is. But anyways, check out the items, look into it just for a few seconds longer. I want you to kind of see what I got in my pockets per se, right? And all right, so I know that's where I usually am, isn't it? But I'm not. All right, un momento, por favor. I'm here. Okay, so told you I wanted to go over Kim's games. I think this is something that, for one, is fun, and for two, is challenging, helps a lot. So let's just go straight into it, right? Just a really quick, brief history on it. This Kim's game came from a book in 1901. It was a novel called Kim, and the guy used this game, played it as he was training to be a spy, right? It was for memorization and all that kind of stuff, but he was using it for observation and all that kind of things, right, in the book. What this is, basically, is a game of observation and remembrance. Some of this might sound a little familiar to situational awareness. Anyways, it's a game of observation and remembrance, and it does obviously help with your memory and recalling information, right? So it's going to work hand in hand, like I just said, with situational awareness as you start observing more and getting more detail in what you're looking at instead of just rather a broad picture of what's going on, right? So it's almost teaching you to fine-tune your observation, right? And your memory, obviously, but your observation. And it's a simple way to play this game, right? So basically all you do is you lay 10 or so items on a table. Obviously the difficulty can be made by the quantity of what is down, right? I would at least do something like 10. But 10 more items on a table, whatever it is, doesn't matter, that's up to you. Like I said, difficulty is on quantity. And typically what a person will do, or a group of people, because it is always more fun to play with others, right, is they'll study it. The stuff goes away. Depending on the time you let them study it and the time in between them looking at them, the items going away and recalling them is up to you. Obviously that can go into difficulty. So they look at it, items go away, however long you let them do that, however long you're making them wait, then they recall it, and kind of making it more competitive. There's a winner at the end. It's a challenge. So if there's 5 of you doing it, and you can kind of figure out the person that doesn't remember or can't pay attention to anything, right? And then make fun of them forever. No, I'm just kidding. So all you're gonna do is when you're recalling this information on a piece of paper or whatever it is, you're recalling everything you can think of, every bit of detail you can remember. So it's the size, color, shape, texture, quantity, whatever it is, every detail you can remember, you're going to be writing down, right? If you only saw 5 items, you can sit there and number them 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and write down everything you remember on those, and then try to fill in the blanks of what you forgot or whatever it is, right? But you're recalling every bit of information you can, right? It's the whole idea of detail, right? If you want to make this, actually, no, before the challenging part, my favorite way that I've ever played this is a little more physical. So you do the same thing, you lay down these items and you study them, and then go to the gym, go for a run, go to exert yourself, right? So you're looking at this, you're studying the items, and then you go out there and just beat yourself into the ground, till you're just tired. And then you sit there and come back to where it was, even though they are gone, and just start writing down, or going to a different room or whatever, but then just start writing down everything you remember. So you're actually having to go back a little bit further. It's a little more challenging. And it's an easy way to incorporate it into your day, because if you're already going to go work out and already going to, smash yourself, might as well have a little bit of mental gain on there too. Why not? So that was my favorite way to play it. If you do want to make this even more challenging, or maybe you want to get a little more outside, I've done it this way too. You know, the 10 to 20 items, I would preferably probably 10 on this one. But you put them in a contrasted environment, right? So a pair of boots don't really belong in the woods by themselves, right? So you're taking items. I mean, I probably wouldn't pick the smallest items to put in a grassy area or on a log. You can make them however big or small you want, but find a good location where you can set up some items, stare at them, study them. You could do it in an urban environment too. You really can. You could go into a room and pick 10 items that don't belong in that room or whatever it is, and set them out, study what's in there. Obviously, it makes more sense for someone else to pick the items for you and do it, because if you're picking them out, you're knowing exactly what's going on. But you have the 10 random items or more, study everything you can about them, go exert yourself again. But now the person that stays behind on that is going to remove items, he's going to add items, and he's going to change some things, right? You're not adding 20 items and taking everything away and changing everything. You're doing enough to where it looks normal, but something's off, right? So, like I said, I like to do it in the woods, go out there, stare at the 10 items if I can find them, go off, exert myself. Again, I like to add the physical part into it, come back and figure out what my little partner in crime or whatever has done, what he's changed, and try to write down. But this time I'm trying to annotate different items and then write down the items and everything I remember about the items that used to be there, right? So it's a little twist to the game. I think it's a pretty fun way to do it also. It's a lot more challenging. Anyways, now that we've got all that out of the way and we understand, I mean, it's fairly easy to understand. It's like we said, observation, remembrance, but I want you to take a minute after this video, all those items that I showed you at the very beginning, do a Kim's game, right? So it's been, 6 minutes since I showed them to you. Go ahead and pull out a piece of paper if you can, write down every item you can and every detail about every item, and really don't skip ahead and just look at them. But write down everything you can, and then after you're done and you can't think of any more, go back in the video and see if you're right. You know what I mean? Go to the very, very beginning of the video, so it's not going to be hard to find. But go back and see if it's right. See if you recalled everything, if you were wrong on some information, right? Just as an idea, I figured out I would like to incorporate the game into this video, just so you get hands-on, really, with what it's about and the difficulty in it. So, anyways, I'm going to go ahead and start prepping for tomorrow's video. I will not tell you what it is yet. I do know, but I will not tell you. More of a surprise. Anyways, prepping outside the box. This is Josh, and I'll see you tomorrow.